Tell me, darling, could we run away? We could hide away by the cactus desert blue. I can see it just a mile away from this crowded place. I could lay there next to you.
Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of on our channel, Best Freaking Friends Forever. So today we're going to be talking about Coming to America. So its release date, just from some background, its release date was June 29th of 1988. Its budget was $39 million. Opening weekend, it made $21 million, which with inflation is $46 million. So it did pretty good just opening weekend. And then in the U.S., it grossed $128 million, which with inflation is $283 million. And then worldwide, it grossed $289 million, which with inflation is $639 million today. So it was a pretty big movie. All right. So our trivia question for you guys today is, what movie were Prince Akeem's parents also a part of or were in together? And this was it had some big hitters in this movie. It had Eddie Murphy, it had Arsenio Hall, it had James Earl Jones, Sherry Headley, John Amos, Eric Lasalle, who also we know from ER, which I was shocked to see him in this. I did not know that he was in this movie. But yeah, so it's got some heavy hitters.
And the reason why we're doing this is because we will release this episode March 5th, right?
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, we'll release this episode on March 5th, and that's the same day that the sequel's coming out on Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Coming to the number 2 America.
Yep.
Yeah, it's coming out March 5th as well.
Yep, so we thought this would be a good day to go back, and I watched this one, which is weird. Like, my parents wouldn't let me watch Aliens, but I was allowed to watch a movie with cuss words and sexual content. Yeah, There's a lot of that. But
well, it's like, it hits you in the face, like in the first minute and a half, like after the beginning, the beginning music and all that stuff, and then it's like boom, and I'm like, oh, okay then, because the only other movie that I have watched that I remember doing that is Lethal Weapon. When you see the daughter right from the start, I'm like, oh, okay, it's gonna be that kind of movie. But yeah, and the cussing we talked about that.
Well, so he's in the bath at the very beginning. He's in the bath, and the girl you just think he's taking chilling out in the tub, and it's like, no, she pops up and says her little line, and that's kind of like a thing because, well, his dad says, I always thought that you were getting it on with your girls.
Bathers. Yeah, the bathers.
Yes.
Yeah. He's like, I do. I'm like, well,
right. It's just life for them. It's just what they do. It's not anything out of the ordinary. It's just how they roll.
Well, and even in the beginning when he sits, everything is done for Prince Akeem. That's who Eddie Murphy plays, Prince Akeem. He turns 21, it's his birthday, and basically all his life he's had everything done for him, from wiping his butt to bathing, everything, tying his own shoes. Even his dad was like, I did that once, and it's an overrated, or what was it, an overrated event. Yeah, experience. And I'm like, okay, but he turns 21, and then he's obviously supposed to be given a wife at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't want, first, and we talked about, I thought it was crazy how he wants to be independent, even going 21 years of his life having everything done for him. And the wife is going to continue that. Yeah.
What the heck, man? You have it made.
Yeah. And he doesn't want that. He's like, don't you want someone to be basically your equal intellectually too? Why would you want to marry someone just for I don't know. So he's very mature in that way, I feel. And I thought it was kind of interesting that he turns 21 and he's thinking, okay, I want more. I want to be independent after spending all those years being pretty much waited on hand and foot.
Mm-hmm.
And even I thought it was kind of weird when they sat down for breakfast and he gets up to come down and talk to them, and they're like, what's he doing? And then they noticed the mustache, and she's like, it's been a year. And I'm just like, really? You don't talk to your son like enough that you didn't know he had a mustache? Like, he's living with you, like, for crying out loud.
His dad said, he was like, I remember when I ordered your first diaper change.
Yeah, it was a very weird, yeah.
Out of touch with reality they are.
Yes, absolutely. And it's funny that they picked America, and then of all places in America, they picked Queens to go to. Yeah. Well, they did a heads and tails thing, because it was either going to be LA or it was going to be New York. And then they picked Queens in New York. Because it was the most common place. Because he wanted to be common. He wanted to be poor, basically, when he got there. He didn't want anybody to know he had money.
Yeah. We went to that apartment complex, and he said, I want your poorest room. Yeah. And there's like an outline of a body on the floor.
And the dog.
Yeah, and the dog.
Well, and this is the first time that Eddie, and we see it when they go to the barbershop for the first time, and he cuts his hair. And this was the first time that Eddie Murphy played multiple characters in the same film, and then it became kind of a trademark for him. But this was the first, because he also plays the barber, and he plays, let's see, is he the preacher or the pastor, isn't he? And then Arsenio Hall may be him. Because Arsenio Hall played a couple of them too.
Yeah, as the preacher, and then Eddie is the leader of the band, Sexual Chocolate.
Yes, okay.
Well, even in the bar, Arsenio plays a girl. One of the girls that they're trying to date. But, you know, they go to the bar, they clearly can't find anybody there. And so then they go back to the barbershop, and the guy was like, oh, there's some good girls where I'm going. They're going for like a rally. What was it? Black History? It wasn't Black History Awareness, was it?
It was Black Awareness, yeah.
Black Awareness, okay.
And the women, it was kind of like a beauty pageant.
Yeah, they had women there in their bathing suits and in the middle of winter. Clearly it's cold there. They're all wearing coats and stuff.
Oh, and it's in New York. We know it gets cold in New York.
Right.
In the winter.
Yeah, and then that's where Akeem sees the one he wants. Because her father owns McDowell's, not McDonald's, McDowell's.
They're right beside each other, though.
I like that too.
What was it? One's got the golden arches, and one's got the...
Yeah.
But yeah, they have burgers.
The golden arcs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because the dad, he ends up working for Lisa's dad, Lisa McDowell, her dad, at the McDowell's. And so he kind of does that to kind of get close to her. And he does, he's kind of like he does janitorial stuff, or sanitation stuff, as he calls it. So he gets to know her, and she's kind of seeing a guy. So she's seeing Eric LaSalle's character, and he's he's kind of an actor. He's got a commercial for the hair product.
Yeah. Well, his family invented Soul Glow.
It was funny because he wanted to take her back to the apartment and show her where he was living, and Sammy had redecorated at that point. So he's like, "We can't stay here." Yeah. Oh yeah.
Stereo system, TV. Yeah, he had it all. And then they traded with the landlord. What's your favorite part? Do you have one?
My favorite part is the wedding scene when he lifts the veil and she's walking down the aisle, and we're like, well, because we see them fight. We see her leave him on the subway. And so I was thinking, okay, it's over. Like, she's not. So then he goes back, and the wedding scene happens, and he pulls the veil and he sees her. And I was kind of like, I don't know. I didn't know what to expect, but I thought that's my favorite part, when it's her under the veil.
It's cute. So they're on the subway, and I just like that whole scene where they're on the subway, at the very, very end, where they're on the subway, and he's just like, please be with me, and trying to explain why he did what he did. And then there's the little old lady who gets off. Yeah. I like that. I really, really like that, because she says, if you're really a prince, I'll marry you. And he hands her the earrings. I just love that, because it's like, she probably won't have to worry about another thing a day in her life because of those earrings.
Well, and he gives money to the two homeless men that I think were in, Yeah. So
they're in Trading Places. We were going to do that. We were going to do that movie this week, but we couldn't get it squeezed in. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of cool because in Trading Places, he scams the brothers, and then so we see them in Coming to America, and they're poor, living on the street, and he gives them a bag of money that Semi had requested from Akeem's dad.
The dance when he first meets what is to be his bride, or who he is, on his 21st birthday. That was, that's a pretty cool, and Paul, like we talked about, Paula Abdul choreographed the film, like those parts, I think. So that was, I liked that part too. I thought that was kind of visually cool. Do other things too, like, when King Joffrey comes looking for Akeem, and the McDowells, and he says, "No, do not alert him to my presence. I shall deal with him myself," is homage to Darth Vader, who he voices. Mm-hmm. Who has voiced, so in Star Wars episode, that episode, Return of the Jedi, and then he has a similar line, "No, leave them to me, I will deal with them myself." So that's kind of cool too, that they do that, and keep that kind of stuff going too.
Okay, so Shelley asked the trivia question, Akeem's parents, King Joffrey and Queen Aeolion, who did they play in another movie? They were parents to another character in another movie, and the answer is The Lion King. They were Simba's parents. We thank you for watching and joining in and talking with us. Are you going to watch the new one coming out, Coming to America? Are you going to watch that one? If so, come back and comment and let us know how you liked it and how you like this one. And I am Tiffany. This is my BFFF, Shelley. Join us next time, friends, for another great episode.